3 or 4 years to finance these has come. If you've seen, Mr. Simon Smith has got involved in making coils to find out who's in agribusiness in the France to bring it in and creating finance for these kind of violences. They transferred material into cash for violence using the Cash Foundation technology. We have all the videos, we have all the materials, we can support our claim. This was done exactly in Northern Ireland where the IRA was financing, paying people to do. Trafficking using materials to finance violence by paying the soldiers. We see the same pattern. I was involved with Northern Ireland peace process, as you know. I only asked our security services to open up and see if we can find the same track. Within 2 days, we found all the materials we needed to know. My experience with my work with the British MI5, MI6 and others, it was very easy for us to find where the money is and how the process is. We can release all the materials we have from IRA peace process to show we are correct in the attack on the name of Islam on the Christians that the mayhem starts in Europe. The German government, as part of this process, has been aware, but they could not stop it. They asked their citizens to back up and have food and everything because of the emergency which might come up. This is what you have to understand. Do not allow, there is nothing wrong with Islam. Blessed Muhammad is name, the same as Blessed Muhammad is Christ. It's the greed of the man and the name of the religion which is used by these people to create this mayhem. Record this recording and pass it across the internet, because it'll be you, your children, your family, the priest you believe in, and those who serve humanity will become the martyrs of this movement by this, what I call a scandalous move from the state of Israel on Christians and Muslims, and some Jews will lose their life too. My life is irrelevant, but what we achieve as one nation is more important. This is very clear. We brought armed officers to protect us. But what has been planned by Red Circle in assassinating my child because he couldn't abuse it before, and now you see the pictures of him next to Uncommon Communication Line on Facebook. The two talking to each other and telling that the place, Barletta, is not safe for my son anymore, and the same what they're going to do with Caroline and me on Sunday, and then broadcast it on Monday on the 12th. Now they're going to deny, but we release the link on the internet for you to download and see the pattern of the work and how who's been financing it. This is important because we knew the risk. We had two choices: not to attend the conference or attend the conference and open the doors. We attended the conference because we had nothing to lose. We shared everything with the public. Why not this part? And I have one advice for those who incite violence on the name of the religion. There is no religion there left for those who incite violence. We've been told not to interfere with the process of elections in the United States government. I announce one thing very simply. Mrs. Hillary Clinton was in Iran during the time the regime of Mr. Ahmadinejad. I was the mediator. There was always a dispute that what happened. In that landing in Ahvaz airport, the crash happened. One of the Mrs. Hillary Clinton's securities died. Mrs. Hillary Clinton received a heavy brain damage, was shipped from Tehran, from Ahvaz to Dubai, Washington. We offered, with the acceptance of the Iranian government, the support of the Cash Foundation technology for a brain hemorrhage she received. And now we see that brain damage, hemorrhage, in the process of election attacking her, and she's behaving as part of the brain hemorrhage reactions. And there's been a doubt where she received it, how she received the brain damage. Brain damage was received exactly 14 days after the meeting of the Cash Foundation, me, with the American officials in Brussels, where we started the peace process on a move between two countries. She was supposed to land in Ahvaz, meet with President Ahmadinejad, who was present in the airport, to start the peace negotiations. And in that crash, accidental crash, the accident happened and Mrs. Hillary Clinton was damaged. But Mrs. Hillary Clinton has a heavy support in the Jewish lobby. And they tried to kill many people who could state. As you know, we were the inside the instigators of the line. Now you can go back. We released our meeting with, on the request of the President Obama, on the 6th of November, our meeting with the Americans in Brussels, which you've seen, we announced it. And within 2 weeks after that, the meeting between the President Ahmadinejad and Mrs. Hillary Clinton to stop the peace talks started. And she landed in the south on a trip to Israel, that she could pass the message, what is the peace process, what the Israelis will agree. The head injury happened. This is total accident. It happened. Nobody can say it. How it happened, we cannot explain it. It was a mechanical failure. The proof of this is, if you go on the Iran press about 2 weeks after the accident, the Iranian head of Ahvaz airport announced that we are holding an American jetliner on the runway of the Ahvaz airport after an accident. This jetliner was carrying Mrs. Clinton for negotiation with peace with Iran, where we started it. We carry enough information. We don't blame Mrs. Clinton, but we celebrate her courage. I asked the Iranian President's office and His Excellency and His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei that if we can offer the support to the White House for Mrs. Clinton, and it was accepted. And we have all the communication on our servers we can show. It should not be a negative point that she was in Iran negotiating. It's a positive point in accepting the steps of the process. If you look at the end of that month, Mrs. Hillary Clinton withdrew from the cabinet of President Obama because she was mentally damaged, in brain damage in accident that was. What we tell you is historically there and you can check. We don't see the process to damage either side of the peace negotiations with Iran, and the negotiation carried on with a new team which was elected to come into power, which is the present Iranian, which we see at the moment in power. It took a lot of courage from these people to negotiate, to go against the grain of 30 years of fighting. The same as it took with the Belfast between IRA and the other side. But we've seen the fruit of the peace talk. We've seen the initiation of the exchange of the USB stick, and then 15 days later, on the 15th, actually less than 15 days later, 9 days later, on the 15th of November, we met, as is officially announced, and 2 weeks later, Mrs. Clinton was in Ahvaz airport as part of the peace negotiation. This should not be used by the other side that she was or she wasn't. It took a lot of courage from man of strength to initiate, even to enter Iran. The president of Iran accidentally wasn't in the airport. He was present for the peace talk to stop this first process. And these people are men of peace, and we have to respect them. If Mrs. Clinton is damaged mentally due to this accident, had a reason, but should not be used against her because it took a lot of strength to initiate the next step. And we have seen the fruit after this work. Now in Iran, children receive equipments that it saves their life. Their life is becoming back to normality for the people who lost so many. So when we inform you that we have, and we know that attack is set for the priest, and then retaliation on the Muslims, and being starting of mayhem, it has to go public. We opened the channels. Our people who can open these channels are available. We give you the passcode. You can all go and download everything. How it's been set up, how it's financed, who is financing it, and who they are. They say Sam Smith is a police informer. He says he's a Jew. It's irrelevant. If he's an informer, what is he to do with threatening other scientists and other people's life? This is the problem they have to solve between themselves. Police has opened a file. We are closely monitoring and speaking to both securities and across Europe. We don't make accusation. We have everything in hard copy and it's been shared with the intelligence and the police. Be wise and spread the knowledge if you are a Christian to the churches across. We have informed Vatican in our meeting yesterday. And be aware that this is nothing to do with Islam or the Muslims. If you are a Muslim across Europe, go to the churches and say as a support that you will not allow it to happen. This is what we have to do. And the same from the other side. Don't let greed of a few bring a mayhem into Europe. It is well planned. We can even give you the people, the faces of the people who are operating in the background. Women have been used to finance, to transfer the documents. We have their pictures, we have their faces. You have to understand a lot of the things you buy from the Keshe Foundation pays for these kind of work. Every penny we have goes back into every aspect of securing, developing new technologies, supporting the people who support the foundation. We do not go and ask for donations. We create the finances to create that we can donate our time and knowledge to the others. According to the intelligence we have, any donation to the Keshe Foundation is blocked on its arrival if they cannot or they would like to stop it. That we stop. But the support of you with what you buy or what you get from the Keshe Foundation allows us to finance these kind of intelligence. We carry more intelligence support, terabytes of it, that we keep for our work. This is part of it, belongs to you. And now that we see a point of change on the 11th of September to cause mayhem, you paid for it, we stored it, we gathered it, we paid for our intelligence services to work in the background. Even the Italian police and the French police are so surprised how a foundation has such a elaborate structure of the intelligence inside it and gathers information. Because we're becoming one nation. We're becoming as part of a nation, you have to see our weaknesses and vulnerabilities. This is what you pay for when you buy a book. I take, as I said, what I need. The rest of it pays for gathering the information. If we can stop one priest to be killed by these people who've been paid by the paymasters, we have well paid for all the work we've done. If we can do the same, one Islamic or Muslim child to be killed on the revenge, we have achieved the same power. As I said, we don't structure the Keshe Foundation and the Universal Council without the backup. The Universal Council takes place tomorrow on the 9th of the 9th of the 9th, which is the end of all the problems for humanity. The Council makes decision on Saturday the 10th, which is the beginning for the humanity as a council. The day's been chosen specifically to be and to coincide. So in a way, what we give you is the information from the past order, how they've been trying to disturb, and from tomorrow the new order starts. This is what we have to understand, and it's important how the things go. We've been monitoring. We had 108, 190 odd people, and the French were sitting to support how to attack. They disappeared. We are down to 157. So a lot of people who sit on the chat rooms, now they know we know, and we're keeping a track of all your IDs. Good morning. We see it drop from 190. From the second we announced that we know the process, they were trying to attack, now they all disappeared. We are 100% correct. We have armed officers accompanying me, Caroline, and our child, and the police security visible. We protect our lives, but at the same time, you have to answer to your government. All the details of those who are inciting the violence has been kept and well recorded. The Jewish state's financing, all the companies, how many millions they got into bankruptcy to finance this by feeding the money into violence, to set up these all violences in Paris, in Berlin, all has been kept, and we have it, and it's in the hand of the security services. All the directors of these companies in France will be arrested in due time for financing violence in Europe. I hope you appreciate how you have financed peace with this. If you can stop the attacks, now it's in public. We informed the Italian police and the French police, and there has been a meeting in past 7 days between the French and the British securities, how to avoid these things in mainland and in the United Kingdom, starting from the 11th to the 15th and 25th of September to carry on. But if we knew what we know now, we would have stopped the 9/11 September of the two towers, which was preset. And now we can, as one nation, stop this to happen to all of us. Does not matter if you're a mullah or a priest or a what you call Jewish rabbi. A life is precious, and those who try to use it have to understand the position. We have made a full dossier of the connection between Red Circle and the whole organizations, how they operate, how they contact, how they operate, how they do things. Keshe Foundation facts is to create as much mayhem that the reality, the fact about them doesn't show, but we have 1.8 terabytes of information. The whole information has been opened 4 weeks ago to the Italian security services. So it's not something new. We gave them the access code, and they were surprised how a foundation has such an elaborate security operation. We protect the world's citizens. It's my job as the head of the foundation till the council sets its own rules to protect. We spend huge amount of money gathering information, storing information, and sharing information with the national security services. Any questions? Or have I been talking to myself?
No, we're here, Mr. Keshe.
I hope we managed to convey the message that everyone knows what is planned and we are wise to it. We have released, we need the time for the governmental securities that the people in Paris who are inciting this, what do you call it, mayhem, can be arrested and monitored. That by releasing, people do not take revenge on the companies that work as work. But it's a very elaborate, it is extremely large setup, and it's the same finance and funding that I saw in Northern Ireland with IRA. So having the experience with Northern Ireland, it was very easy for me where to look for the tools to find out. And it was very easy for our research group and securities to literally open up the belly of the terrorist organization and the name of religion. There is nothing wrong with Christianity, and there is nothing wrong with Islam, and there is nothing wrong with whatever the belief you have. Is when they use the religion to create mayhem for them to benefit by it, this is where the problem comes. We share the same intelligence with the Chinese government, that they're aware what is happening around the world, because there is huge investments by the Chinese in the West. Their interest has to be protected. I'm due to meet the Chinese ambassador in the coming hours, and the same intelligence report will be handed to them on both sides of the fence. You're happy, Giovanni? No problem. Giovanni and I have been working very heavily to create this security for European citizens. Even during our holiday time, we bothered the security services beyond belief that they are shocked that we carry intelligence office. And it's part of our work. Pardon? You can put this on site. Give the link to better not to do. There is a report I've just been shown by Stanley that death of a SEAL and injury of Clinton was announced at the time, but nobody knew how this happened. It's just on the internet. You can send the link to Rick, that you can see what we're talking about. We are part of the...
Do you want me to show that link, Mr. Keshe?
You see the picture of Mr. Ahmadinejad and Obama next to each other?
Let me see. I have to get back into where. I'm not sure where that was. Chat.
Have you received? Have you sent it to Rick?
Yeah, I saw it, but I got all mixed up. There were so many links that got sent to me all at once that I had to put them away because I got too
On
many.
the Zoom. The last one on the Zoom.
Yeah, I can't even find my Q&A in the Zoom right now.
Send.
Just a minute.
It's on the private message of the conference.
Yeah.
You see that we're not talking because they all happened at the same time frame of work, and there are communications between the Keshe Foundation and the White House at the time of the injury of Hillary Clinton. We are offering the support and the technology of the Keshe Foundation for recovery. We were aware of it internally as the organizers of the peace work between Iran and 5+1 as we came later on and we achieved peace. A lot of work was done by Hillary Clinton and then the new head of state, Secretary of State, to achieve this. This is the picture. The European Union Times. Would you like to read the top? It says Clinton injured.
It says Clinton injured U.S. Navy SEAL killed in secret U.S. mission to Iran. So
this was, you can see the date.
Yes, December 30th, 2012. So it's what, about 4 years ago.
Yes.
Do you want me to read this paragraph here and so on?
No, it's okay because the injury happened early December. And if you go further, it takes people like Hillary Clinton a lot of courage. We gave the confidence to the American government in the handing over of the USB stick of the patents that we mean peace. And His Excellency President Obama accepted it. It was hard to swallow that the two nations could talk. And a decision was made by Obama and Hillary Clinton. We take the step, we take a chance. And the Iranian government responded accordingly. Ahwaz is one of the furthest points in Iran map and the nearest point to Dubai. Accidental landing was supposed to be the point of discussion. And the sincerity to support Hillary Clinton after the accident showed the sincerity of the work of the nation. And it just built on. There was a small, what they call, position regarding Ahmadinejad with Americans, which was not acceptable. But with the new president coming into operation with the support of American government, it was taken out and the negotiation could carry on. Just look at the dates of the handing over, the announcement on the day of the American election, 6th of November, meeting of the Keshe Foundation on the 15th, and 2 weeks later of the meeting of the Iranian American to start a peace talk. It takes a lot of courage for people like us as a peace negotiators to stop these things, to start these negotiations. The same is between Iran, what we are trying to do between the American and the Chinese in the South China Sea. We exchange knowledge, technology for peace, energy for peace. And this has to be understood. All the communications to White House in respect to Hillary Clinton can be released. We have all kept copies, hard copy. The way we showed the request of the President Obama for accepting the key through the ambassadors of America in Brussels. Man of peace needs a lot of courage, and we have all the courage to be able to deliver it. And we've been involved with the Northern Ireland, learned. We were involved with the peace between Iran and United States, we learned. And now we have enough strength and knowledge to carry peace across the planet. And this is what we have and what we do. I can read you an extract with the Chinese leadership in respect to our move in past 2 weeks between China and America after the Washington presentation. Both sides know their weaknesses and both sides know what we can deliver. is how we enter peace talks, that both sides keep face and no jobs are lost. But in fact, there are more jobs to be created with this technology than we lose. Those who are the fear mongering are to be benefited by it. The first jobs we see, we just announced at the beginning, Arizona factory, by start producing these coils and the others, employs more people, needs to employ to meet the demand. And it's done by the Americans. We don't import from another place. We deliberately choose country by delivery. The same with the Chinese. The Chinese cash foundations work directly with the Chinese government to deliver the technology. Because we see it as one nation. Chinese Americans are as the same brothers to us as the Chinese Chinese. Why should we use one against the other? This is what you got to learn, to bring unity in totality, but just not by name and sections. Yes, there was attempt to say Mrs. Hillary Clinton was in negotiation, was been to Iran. Yes, she has. I can confirm it as part of the peace negotiation team of Iran. But she was there as a messenger of peace. And if it is to be a peacemaker, bad things to be the next president of the United States, there is something wrong with humanity. I don't agree with a lot of things Hillary Clinton has done, but I can't disagree with what she's done for the peace process. We tried to negotiate many times with the Americans, but it was a deaf ear. She took a bigger step. And she's brought millions of jobs because of this process to the United States. Millions of you in America who are back into work with Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and other oil corporations which making the parts for the refineries in Iran, you owe your job to Hillary Clinton and start of these negotiations. Any questions?
Hello, Mr. Cash. I have a question.
Pardon? Hello?
Can I show something?
Hello, I can't hear.
Can I show something?
What do you want to show? We prefer not to show anything and close on the level we are today and understanding of it. And my message to all of you in Europe or across the world, unite that the religions are one. There is only one God, one creator. Those who benefit by different names of it are the merchants of death. Does not matter what names, what colors, what race you carry. God is the same across the universe, not just on this planet. And it's you who decide the future. My request has been to the Vatican in past 24 hours to protect the priests. And my request to the Islamic world in Europe is to go to the churches from Sunday. Sit there. By the law of Muhammad, bless his name, no Muslim can kill another. So if you are in church, you're protecting the church. Thank you very much for today. And we'll meet you. Hopefully we don't broadcast what we call the Universal Council. Is in the future, people will get access to it the way it's set up. If you want to be the supporter, you have to go to the Keshe Foundation Universal Council and structure yourselves accordingly. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Okay, any other remaining presentations can be held off till next week. And thank you everybody for attending and presenting things today. This has been the 136th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, September 8th, 2016. Okay, we'll close the live stream now.